Hi guys, David Jenyns here from Melbourne SEO Services, and I've just got another client case study, and I'm here with Debbie Fear. Debbie, we had a consult a couple of weeks back now, and I just thought it's always helpful to hear someone who's already gone ahead and worked with us to find out what the process is like. So thank you for your time, Debbie.
My pleasure.
Very interested, I suppose. Maybe we'll just start off if you can tell us a little bit about yourself and what industry you're in.
Yeah, I'm a psychologist and life coach, so I've been trained and working in that field for the last 15 years. And I basically, based in Sydney, but I work with people around the country, whether it's phone, face-to-face or email, and help them resolve some stuff that's in the way. So
Yeah.
reach their goals.
I think it was interesting because the questionnaire that Debbie sent through to me before we started working together, I mean, it was very detailed and she's got a lot of experience. So, I mean, it was good to find, when I work with people, sometimes they're at different levels, and Debbie had a fantastic base of what she'd already sort of set up. It was kind of just figuring out those next few steps. I'm interested to find out, though, what was going on for you. What sort of made you keep an eye out for us, or how did you come across what I was doing?
So, Dave, I found you when I had begun a search that started in my head about 2 years ago, but I suppose evolved more seriously in the last couple of months in terms of looking to move away from the service delivery of what I do, or as much service delivery, because I have I have one young kid and another one on the way. And I was looking to develop more of a business that I could run online and grow in a different way. So in my search for options, I guess I kept going down paths that highlighted the need to maybe do something else altogether. And it was at that point that, through accident really, I found the link to one of your videos, listened to it, thought, oh, this guy's kind of been somewhere a little bit similar, very different field, and he's smart. And he's got a bit of Midas touch and a bit of energy, and there was a lot about you that came through on your videos, absolutely, that struck a real chord for me in terms of just a good match of someone that I really wanted to talk to. So you're kind of next on my hit list of here's the person I want to chat to next.
And, you had a little bit of a look around the website and that type of thing. There's still a little bit of a leap of faith. I know we're both based in Australia, so that might have made it a little bit easier, but was there anything that sort of made you feel like, I'm going to go ahead and get in contact? I think the first thing you did, you sent an email through. Is that how it first started?
Yeah, that's right. I watched one of your longer kind of training videos, sent an email through saying great content, not sure that it's 100% sort of relevant to what I'm looking at doing. And then I think through that, I got a reply from you within less than a day. And shot back a couple, and I think at that point you said, well, if you want one-on-one consultation, here's the best place to go.
Yeah.
Which was great, like being able to connect with you and speak with you quickly, and and seeing your name, you're the director, and yet I still got to speak directly to you on email. That was really good. I didn't have someone trying to sell it that wasn't you.
Yeah.
Secondly, though, where you led me to was, here, check me out. I'm an open book. Go look at my testimonials, and so, to my surprise, I found that you've got a couple of others on there from similar fields to me. I think one's a local psychologist, one was a coach from overseas, and I did my due diligence. I emailed one of those guys and said,
I didn't know this. Yep.
Yeah. Well, for some other reasons too, I wanted to chat to him about a few things, but not that I was looking for reports on you at that point, but I said, it's interesting that you did that because I'm considering catching up with Dave too. And everything you've told me is certainly what convinced me to kind of make the call to talk to you. Go and get proof, show people that you're someone that can be trusted, show people that you do what you say, and that's exactly what I did.
Yeah. And then, the actual experience, when you booked the session with me and we lined it up, we had the questionnaire first. I don't know if you can sort of tell us how that whole process was and what that was like, I suppose, being a client. It's hard for me because I always see it on this side. It's hard to see it from the other side.
Yeah, for me, the questionnaire was really helpful because the way I like to work is to really get my own thoughts clear about where am I at the moment and where do I want to be. And I guess that's how I work with clients. So it was really easy for me to respond to those things. It was also really helpful, though. There was some stuff in there that probably I hadn't clarified that specifically in my own head. I had more of a vague picture about what I wanted. So some of the questions even got me thinking in some good ways about, yeah, that's true. What exactly do I want? And, you know, what do I want exactly from this conversation and stuff like that? That was really, really helpful. It wasn't onerous. I probably overshared than under because I really wanted to give a fair bit of detail. And it was, yeah, it was easy, and I could tell from the way you started the call and you'd already planned our call that you'd read it, you got it, you kind of took some really key messages out of it, and that worked really well as a good starting point. And had you not done the questionnaire, I think that whole conversation would have taken 3-4 hours instead of 1.5 or whatever it was.
Yeah. And I mean, some of the big takeaways, it was funny, and I said this to you right at the start and even alluded to it at the start of this call. It's like, I mean, you were almost there. You had all of the pieces there. And I mean, it's that classic thing of hard to see when you're in the thick of it. I don't know if there are any sort of key takeaways or anything that you got from our call, or, you know, maybe you can tell us about the call itself and what we covered, how that's helped.
I got heaps of takeaways, like heaps. And I remember saying to my husband when he got home that night, I hadn't told him that I'd booked it because I thought he was going to kill me for the money spent. And when I told him that night, and I was like, that was without doubt the best money I've spent on, you know, growing the business to this point. And I really did mean that. I genuinely thought that. And I guess the takeaways for me were, number one, that even though I'd been considering leaving my business and doing something new entirely, it wasn't because I hated my business. In fact, I quite like it. It's because I couldn't see possibilities as to how I could kind of move it elsewhere. So I remember saying, you know, in my expectations, what I'd love is if you can help me clarify a plan and even the hows of being able to somehow stay within what I do, or at least know, you know, that there's no other options if I have to leave it. And you were kind of like, no, you have heaps of options. So that was really, that was a really big takeaway. The way to grow it, like, you know, getting a business mind and somebody objective, being able to map it all out. And I work really visually and going, look, this is where I see you could take it. That mapping stuff was extremely vital. Like, I've referred back to that picture probably 20 times so far and kind of scribbled notes all over it. And I think just there was also a lot of clarifying of things that I just didn't know, you know, about how to market it, or where to start with product, or whether or not to put time into what kinds of marketing, whether or not social media is necessary right now, yada, yada. So it wasn't just a map. It was also, these are the steps you should take. You know, step 1, do this, step 2. And that's probably been one of the most helpful things, having this really clear sense of here's what you need to do, go and do it.
Step by step. I think that's the biggest thing. And when we said it up front, I mean, there's no illusion that building a business takes work, but it's just making sure that you're working on the right things, because there's any infinite number of things that you could do, and sometimes it's just, I mean, everybody does it. You just get caught in the details sometimes and you forget what that bigger picture looks like and why you're actually building it. Yeah.
And I suppose that's the other point worth mentioning. As I said, I've already been down the path of talking to quite a few people, not speaking with some possible mentors. I certainly hadn't, you know, engaged any. But the message I was getting from a lot of people was either, yes, this is all totally possible and you can make a fortune and you can, you know, go and retire by the time you're 40. So it just wasn't believable. Or I was getting stuff like, look, I just don't think this is worth it. You know, it's a really hard slog. And so what was really great was it's not like you sugarcoated it. You said, here's what you're going to have to do. And it's not like it's going to happen overnight. And this is how much time realistically you're probably going to need to, you know, it's probably going to take. But at the same time, you didn't prescribe that. You were like, you need to figure out exactly what you want the end result to look like. But with your end game in mind, it's, you know, it's not going to happen in 2 days. And that was refreshing, honest and refreshing. And I knew that.
Yeah, yeah. Pleasure to work with them. And I know we've talked about sort of moving forward as well. Some people like to work in different ways. You are an action taker, and I'd like to think that when people actually watch this video, maybe a couple of years down the track, they'll look back and they'll go, wow, Debbie Fear's really grown a huge, magnificent business. And
Yeah,
I know we'll
her
sort
on
of
Today's Show this morning.
touch base. Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, I saw her on the Today Show.
That's right. That's right. I suppose the final thing I wanted to ask was someone who's watching this right now. They still haven't necessarily taken that first step. I don't know if there's anything that you can say to someone if they're considering working with myself or with the team. If there's anything that, as someone who's already taken that step, might be able to share with them.
I couldn't fault. And that's genuine. I couldn't fault either your time and effort and advice, the kind of follow-up stuff that I had some quick messages ongoing with Jill to organise things, and I just couldn't fault it. Like, yeah, quite literally worth every cent. It took me probably maybe half a week to a week to hit the yes, I'll take a consultation with Dave button. Like I said, my husband's not a scary man, but I still wasn't willing to tell him I'd invest in it. And then after doing it, I was just full of rave. And then I said to him, you need to do this for your business. So I'll definitely be back in touch with you, maybe 6 months down the track or something when I've put a few of those runs on the board. But, yeah, my advice to anybody else is do it. Do it.
Fantastic. Well, maybe we'll wrap up there. Thank you so much for the kind words. And if anyone wants to get some help with a real leader in helping people solve anxiety and overwhelm and just relax even more, they can get in contact with Debbie Fear at debbiefear.com. And if anyone wants to get any help with their online marketing, they can get in touch with us here at Melbourne SEO Services. So thank you again, Debbie, for your time. Much appreciated, and look forward to working with you over the next years or two.
Thanks, Dave.